All right, what's going on, guys? This is Chuck Vitola with Empire Sports Media. I'm happy to be here with a well-traveled MMA veteran, uh, Joey the Mexicutioner Beltran. He's been fought for Bellator, for UFC, and now he's doing his damn thing in the bare-knuckle FC, which we're trying to get more on board with as a site. So I'm happy to have Joey here today. How you doing, my man?
How you doing, man? I'm happy to be here.
Cool. Awesome. So, I mean, let's just get right to it. Like, seems like there's a good amount of bad blood in this matchup. What like pisses you off about this dude so much?
I mean, it's not necessarily like bad blood, like I've said it before, like we're borderline fucking friendly when we're in the same room together.
Mhm.
It's just about I'm not delusional. Like, yeah, I have the title and I've defended it multiple times, but at the end of the day, there's somebody walking around with a victory over me. So I definitely want to get that back. So that's what it's all about for me. And I don't know if redemption is the right word, but I definitely know that I can do better, and with the mental preparation that I put into this fight, it's gonna be a whole different fight than it was the last time. So I'm excited for it.
Awesome. I know the fans are excited, and like you said, you are the two-time defending, reigning BKFC heavyweight champion. You're the only person to do that. You're 39 years old at the moment, but you've looked pretty good. I know you had a little bout with COVID. We'll get to that in a little bit. But how long do you envision yourself being able to stay at this top level?
At the heavyweights, it's a little different. Whereas you can slow it down and have a more of a cerebral approach to the fight. Whereas, the smaller guys, like 135 pounders, you lose a step or two in that weight class and you're done.
Mhm.
You know, us big guys, we kind of have the luxury. Yeah, we're dealing with you know heavier circumstances, heavier consequences, so to say. But I definitely can slow it down, be smarter with how I train, and so I'm gonna keep this party going for a little while for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I like that mindset, man. Just keep doing what you're doing because it's working out. Something like I'm curious about, how is the wear and tear on your hands on a like day? I don't know. I'm sure you're not training bare knuckle, but like after the fight, is it like a huge difference between? I know they're only 4-ounce gloves in MMA, but is it a big difference? Like, is it something that's bothering you in between fights?
To be honest with you, the only fight that I ever had a long layoff afterwards was the first one with Tony Lopez.
Mhm.
Every other fight since then, I think I've done a lot better of placing my punches, making sure that I hit the nice soft tissue in the face and the belly as well, put in that body work, and not just letting them fly. And if I crack them in the head, oh well. I learned after that first fight how important it is as far as punch placement. So I mean, honestly, after the Sam Shoemaker fight, I was fine. I was fine. I was back in the gym on that following Monday.
Really?
So yeah.
Speaking of that fight, I know you came out right after I saw and said candidly that you were dealing with COVID. Is that something that's had lingering effects? I know, I'm not sure if you followed the UFC, but Hamzat Chimaev came out this week after a long battle with COVID. He looked awesome. You still looked very good in that fight, and you still won the fight 49-46. And if people aren't familiar, bare knuckle is 5 rounds, 2-minute rounds. So is that something that's having any lingering effects, and how difficult was that for you to make it through that?
No, I mean, I'm very fortunate. I don't have any lingering effects of that. It was definitely difficult in the because I'm telling you, like 2 weeks before fight night, I was at 104 fever, and so it was pretty nasty. I never thought for 1 second of pulling out. I just did my quarantine and just suffered through it. Started off with running, trying to hit. I remember when I was first able to run 5 minutes on the treadmill without like dying. I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this, and just slowly working it, adding more to the workload, adding more to the workload, and I was able to pull it off on the fight night. So it worked out.
Cool. And making that transition from MMA to just straight up boxing, is there ever a time where you've almost like thrown an elbow or anything like that in the ring? Is that something that's difficult for you on a fight to fight basis?
Yeah, I mean, I'll see those opportunities. Like, oh man, I can really elbow the hell out of you right now. But no, I never have an issue with throwing a kick or anything funky like that. You know, funny enough is that the rule set in BKFC that it allows the dirty boxing and the fighting in the clinch really does cater to my fighting style that I had all those years in MMA. You know, in MMA, I was always, you know, a smaller heavyweight. So how would I neutralize those bigger, stronger, faster guys, put them on the fence, and make it a dirty, ugly dogfight? And you know, so when I learned initially about BKFC's rule set, I said, "Oh my God, what is this? The Joey Beltran Fight League?" So I was super excited for that.
Yeah, man, it seems like you're crushing it, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not sure how recently you got married, but I know your wife is also in BKFC, and she just beat up Paige Van Zant pretty good. So I mean, as a couple, you guys are doing pretty good. What is that? What is it like? Training with your partner. Has that something that's ever been in your life before, or is that brand new?
No, man, that's definitely like brand new. Um, because it's like I was always of the frame of mind. It's funny, like if like I remember like at Alliance MMA, like coming up with that team with full of killers. Like if somebody brought the girl to the gym, like it was green light on that fool. Like that guy was gonna that guy was gonna get it. You know, so I was always kind of brought up in that frame of mind. But no, man, I love having somebody by my side, and more importantly, it's able to like help me, you know, through the difficult times, you know, because, you know, this is a big fight. There's a lot of nerves, there's a lot of anxiety that comes along with it. And she has her own big fight coming up. She fights November 12th. So literally we're gonna get off the plane, rest one day, and get back on the plane and go to Miami. So, you know, it's definitely I wouldn't want to say difficult, but it's a different kind of life for sure. But it's the one that we love. So I'm excited to have her with me every day.
That's dope, man. And yeah, just for anybody that's watching, the fight is with Arnold Adams coming up this Saturday night. You can get it on bkfc.tv. It's in Seneca, New York. So I guess I just want to also talk about your UFC career a little bit. You did win a round off Stipe Miocic. I mean, and you fought Rampage Jackson. So is it like any different fighting a guy like this who's nowhere near as credentialed? Is it like something that you can't get up for as much, or is it the same every time you step in the ring or octagon?
You want to know? Funny thing is, I made that mistake our first fight. Um, the first time I faced Arnold Adams, I was actually given the choice of because I was the alternate for the tournament, and Rico Rodriguez he couldn't compete in the initial BKFC heavyweight tournament. And I had a choice between Arnold Adams, Sam Shoemaker, and Maurice Smith, I believe his name is. And so I was like, oh well, this guy's 7-10 MMA record, and he has no pro boxing matches. I'll take that guy. That'll probably be the easiest guy. And you know, I fucking paid for that mistake. You know, underestimating somebody. So definitely learn from that. I definitely know who Arnold Adams is now, and I'm definitely prepared, and it's gonna be a good night.
I want to ask you specifically about the last time you fought Adams. It was a doctor stoppage, if I recall. Was
Yeah.
that like was it legitimate in your eyes? Do you think you could have kept going? Because I know it's a little different with the stoppage. You know how it goes in BKFC.
Yeah, well, it was due to the cut a lot of times. So I mean, it is what it is. I think I was doing well. Uh, uh, After the first round, he really lit me up like for like the end part of the first round, and then after that second round, I kind of like trying to faint more, and get him to react, and then come in. In the third round, I definitely won, and then the fourth round, he came out and hit me with a jab and just started squirting. So it's like, you know, it is what it is. I don't worry too much about like what could have, should have, would have happened, but you know, definitely made the necessary corrections in my training and my mental approach, and yeah, so I'm definitely gonna right some wrongs on Saturday night.
Cool. And just a couple quick more. Like how does a typical camp for you these days work as opposed to how it used to work in MMA? Any differences
I'm
that are
sorry.
notable?
Sorry, say that again.
Like how does a typical fight camp work for you now as opposed to before in MMA? Is there any like notable differences?
Oh, well, the big difference for me personally is I've just been basically in a nonstop fight camp since the first BKFC. Um, you know, the wear and tear that comes on the body from those long wrestling practices and long jujitsu grappling sessions. I don't have to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it took some time to get used to the overload of use on you know, my elbows and my wrists. That took some time to adjusting to, but I mean, overall, you know, oh well, you know, it's all good. So ice it down, do some like therapeutic exercise and stuff. But yeah, the wear and tear that I used to take in an MMA fight camp is nowhere near that I think, at least in my opinion, nowhere near what you know what I'm saying? A boxing training camp is a little bit easier than MMA camp is what I'm trying to say, basically.
Gotcha. Okay. And I mean, the owner of the BKFC, in my opinion, is making a lot of big moves right now. I really truly see this promotion building fast, and I think you're in a good place for it. You guys just signed Mike Perry, who's a big name. You know, I kind of asked you this before, but you know, are you confident that this is something that will eventually get some mainstream popularity in America amongst people who are pretty fixated on the UFC only?
I think so because I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, as big as UFC is in 2021, if you go to a bar or a restaurant where they're playing the fights, the moment the fight hits the ground, there are still people that will boo and say, "Stand it up! Oh, that's lame. That's pussy shit." You know, like people just can't comprehend the ground game still to this day. Whereas BKFC, I don't man, it doesn't matter if it's your mom, your grandma, your daughter, your little niece, they understand what it is to see two dudes in a fist fight or two women in a fist fight. You know what I mean? So it's definitely like it's like universal love. You know, as much as messed up as it may seem to say that, people love violence, man.
Yeah, simple is good. You know what I mean? So, I guess is there anything that you'd like to promote? Any message you want to get out there? Any sponsors? Anything like that? Any message in general?
No, man, I just like to say shout out to all my fans and family and friends, and shout out to my number one supporter, my wife, who's also fighting November 12th against Pro Gonzalez in Miami. So, like I said, man, we get right off the plane for my fight and get rest one day, get right back on the plane for her fight. So,
Yeah, that's a crazy, man. That's a
good life.
crazy life. All right, guys. So again, the fight is this Saturday, November 6th. Joey Beltran, Arnold Adams, the two-time defending heavyweight champion of bare knuckle boxing. Right now, it's a pick'em fight on the odds, 115 a pop. So it should be a barn burner. Joey, thanks a lot, man. Good luck.
Thank you. You have a good one.
All right, boss.
Bye bye.